Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to this new project that I'm launching. I'm pretty excited for it, I guess. We're going to explore the ins and outs of how to hopefully get hired in the world of video games or a similar technology field, depending on how we go about it, right? So I thought it would be pretty interesting. I've looked online a lot for many different techniques, many different outlets on how to, network and things like that. I haven't really gotten a lot of solid answers other than, oh, you should try networking. But there's more steps to it than that, obviously. It's, in an industry where you know more people in the industry, obviously it's a more of an in for you. That's easy to do. So how do you network outside of that? So we're going to be looking at that. Looking at different applications you can use, different websites you can use to apply, and of course, different skill sets that you may need when it comes to applying for video games. So a little bit about myself. My name is Scott Cooper. As you can see, my LinkedIn is right here on the page, and I'm a full cycle recruiter / project manager. I currently work for Walmart. Wearing many different hats. I work for Walmart now for 5 years. Before that, I worked for a company called Action Link, who worked with Sony Electronics. Before that, I worked for Best Buy, and before that, I worked for Dollar General and then Walmart again. So obviously, I have more of a retail background when it comes down to it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, though, right? Retail teaches you a lot of different things. So we're talking about transferable skills here, right? So I do need to brush up on my LinkedIn a little bit. There's a lot you can do with it. But the role that I'm doing right now, when I was promoted, recruiter / coach, I was more of a coach over operations. So we had to do a lot of different you have to do a lot of different things in those positions. It's not just you just go in, run your play, and boom, you're good to go. No, you've got to hire, you got to recruit, you've got to, you've got these different projects you got to work on. A company is always sending down different tasks for everybody to do. It's not just a day-to-day operations type deal, right? It's always, hey, a pandemic just hit. We need 80 people. Cool. Awesome. So we set up hiring events. Obviously you have to stay within budget and things like that. So when we talk about transferable skills, and you start breaking them down, and we can always highlight the skills here. So skills that retail management will teach you, and this is applied for a lot of different fields as well. So if you want to get into the gaming field, obviously, you're going to have to figure out what skills you have transfer over, or you're going to have to intern. And then even then, finding an intern position is still a challenge because so many people are going for these positions. And I'm gonna highlight that for you in a second, is to show you how many people are applying for these jobs when they open up, right? And how you set yourself apart. So management, inventory management, sales, leadership, customer service, retail, merchandising. These are all things that are, standard when it comes to retail management. Time management, team building, customer satisfaction, visual merchandising, team leadership, sales operations, sales management, loss prevention. And then you start getting into your programs, though, right? Excel, Word, Office, training, teamwork, communication. They all sound very similar, right? Public speaking, strategic planning, new store development, new store openings, entrepreneurship, big box account management, data analysis, analytical skills, financial analysis, business analysis, advertising, online advertising, public relations, human resources, recruiting, market research, financial reporting, employee relations, media relations, project management, agile project management, agile methodologies, agile and waterfall methodologies, and Scrum. Now, some of you may be going, oh, I don't know what those are, or what even that is. That's fine. But the question you have to ask yourself is, are you in a position at work, at your current employer, where you are either in charge of a team or in charge of an implementation of a new project or a new program? A project is something that has a start and a stop, right? Program is very similar to that as well. Program can be multiple projects. But you have to look at it from this aspect. Are you the person who is responsible for getting the team together, staying on the time slot, staying on the time zones? And this could be even attributed to, are you over a particular area? So like if you're in retail and you're over the grocery side of your building, you have to schedule those individuals in order for your business to run properly, right? That's day-to-day operations. But you're still having to schedule, having to stay within budget. You still have quarterly reports you have to do. You still have quarterly analysis you have to do. You still have a bunch of different aspects of the job that you have to analyze. And you have to, report that. So it's not just one or two different things. And you got to think, those skills that is teaching you, that you probably taught yourself, being honest, right? Because no one ever really teaches you a class on this stuff. And yeah, there's research academies and things like that some of these retail places offer, but a lot of it's just more or less, what the person in front of you is teaching you or what their best practices are. And I think that's the standard for a lot of the industry. There's quick course startups and things like that you can take. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not going to spend, $1,600 on something that may or may not work. But there are online courses that you can take that are relatively cheap that can bolster your resume. We'll look into those in a little bit. So LinkedIn is probably going to be our best bet, right? So it's not just about what I want to do. It's about, helping you guys out too. So LinkedIn, if you don't have one, get one. It is social media for the professional side, right? And the idea behind these is it's simply you build up your profile, you build up your portfolio on here, and you can kind of network on here. And there's a bunch of different things that a bunch of different people can network with. So, if you're looking for specifics from, for example, like Crystal Dynamics right here, 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure if this is still obviously accurate because 2 weeks is, enough time to hire somebody for these positions. But you can go ahead and check them out. And you're following these guys like you would on social media, right? But one of the cool things about LinkedIn is you can click on the actual company itself. You can learn about it, see their posts, and of course you can click on the jobs. And then you can go to the jobs. And then recently posted right here. And then you can go ahead and see what all the jobs they have currently right now. And those are the only 2 they have posted on LinkedIn, right? And that's fine. Okay. We go to, and you can also do searches and things like that too. LinkedIn is kind of like this, a lot of people use it for like a highlight reel of like their portfolio. Like, hey, this is what we succeeded in. Look at this, like look, a lot of the EA recruiters are back, in some of their areas. That's a cool area, right? That's awesome. And a lot of that's, highlighting. And I see a lot of great things. You see a lot of recruiters hiring through this as well. And it's a great way to really start your networking. It really, really is. And you can kind of go and you can kind of see when it comes to that. It's very similar to like a Facebook, I would say. Just more of like I said, a much more professional side of Facebook. If you have one, you probably know more than me about setting it up. But, relatively simple stuff. You want to make sure that you've got kind of what you are, what you want to do, and things like that. And I'm going to be updating mine and sharing how that helps maybe get more of these views, right? These profile views, and more impressions on posts and things like that. It's all about, making awareness, making people know who you are, right? And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be, competent in what you do. If you know what you do is, and you do a good job what you do, that's not a bad thing. Don't be disappointed when you get told no on a job opportunity, though. It's going to happen. You're going to get more no's than yeses. That's how it works, right? So if you want to do a simple job search on LinkedIn, it's relatively easy, right? You can actually set up job alerts. You can look up what the salary is. You can take some skill assessments maybe to help you kind of stand out a little bit more. I'm not sure how those work 100% on here. But LinkedIn offers you a resume builder, job seeker guidance application, interview prep, things like that. So a lot of great stuff. LinkedIn also has their premium feature, like this guy over here, where you can actually access learnings. And that's actually really cool too. There's a lot of other different programs out there that offer you the same thing. They're all going to try to, bait you in with, here's a freebie, here's this, and what do you think of this? And that's all really realistic skills that are really viable. So if it's something that you want to be or want to do, go right ahead. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to search a particular job, so let's just say that, hey, it's the gaming world, so let's see if we can have a job by PlayStation, right? So if I want to search PlayStation, PlayStation shows up, right? Now, I want to show you that this particular job right here, Senior Technical Recruiter, is a job I applied for. I was opened up 2 weeks ago. I had an interview. I didn't get the job. But that was 197 applicants that applied for that one job, right? So out of 197, maybe only 6 or 7 of us were selected for interviews. And, out of that, only one person gets a job, right? So you see what the odds are. Senior Technical Program Manager, right? 1 applicant right now. That one's on site. And that's a good thing to talk about right now, the difference between a remote job and on-site job. Remote jobs are definitely more in demand right now. Everybody would love to work at home. So that's kind of how that would work, right? Project Manager Contract. 86 applicants 15 hours ago, right? So you kind of have to go, okay, well, who am I up against? What are they doing? Well, you can't really worry too much about what other people are doing. You have to worry about what you are bringing to the table, right? So you're going to have to set up a few different resumes, okay? And I'm not here to tell you how to set up your resume. There are plenty of, and we can kind of go over it in later videos, but I kind of wanted you to get the gist of what basic LinkedIn is, and then a few other sites as well. So if I'm looking at jobs on LinkedIn, I search up PlayStation, but I want to do obviously something remote. You go to on-site, you go to remote. There's 183 current remote positions available through them. Sometimes they're listed as promoted. That means that it's something that they're relatively always looking at. So it's always something that is, it's not a fixated moment. So, for example, this recruiter position that I applied for, it's the same one, still here, even though the position was already filled. That doesn't mean that they don't stop looking, right? Any good recruiter knows that you always keep your pool open, especially when it comes down to this kind of thing, right? So you don't ever stop at that. It's the same thing with all the other positions too. Now, some will give you, definitive dates and things like that. On when it was posted, this guy was posted 6 days ago, right? How many people applied for this project manager? 196 applicants. How are you going to stand out of 196 applicants? Now, not to mention, this is PlayStation's probably, easily one of the top companies to work when it comes to video games, right? So, there's other companies too, right? Epic Games. Epic Games is very popular right now. Do they have anything? Let's take remote away from here. Show the 352 results. Epic does. Now, all Epic stuff is not remote. It's either located in their locations like California, North Carolina. And that's something you also have to look at as well. It's going to be easier to get a job, locally with these guys versus it's going to be a remote job. Now, I'm not saying it's not impossible, obviously, because I'm trying to get a remote job because I'm based in Florida. The only thing near me is Orlando, and that's EA. And typically they're applying, but they don't really apply too much when it comes down to what I'm looking for. I'd love to be a recruiter for EA. That'd be really cool. But I also don't know if that would benefit my family or not. And it's the other stuff that we have to look at is how hard is it right now to relocate? Housing market and everything like that. It's absolutely crazy right now. So it's definitely something that's pretty interesting when it comes to that. We have to look at is that going to be the best course of action? Some of these places pay for relocation help. That doesn't mean they're going to buy your house for you, though, right? So you have to kind of factor in some of those things, right? So you can set up a job alert. Move on to the next thing, notifications. You set up a job alert if you wanted to. So you set up a job alert, you click on this. I have recruiter, project manager, recruiter. This one's actually set locally for me. This one's set remote for me. So that way when any new job opportunities come available, typically LinkedIn emails me like 2 or 3 times a day, 3 or 4 separate emails based upon those job alerts. And same thing, obviously you can click on your salary, discover what your earning potential is, right? So with more and more transparency when it comes to salary, this is nice, right? To be able to kind of see what you're looking for and how much you're looking for it. So LinkedIn, like I said, that's going to be one of your best friends when it comes down to, and look right here, we have 5 new PlayStation openings. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes not. I usually go to past 24 hours. So project manager contract right here. So in applying for a job on some of these websites, it's pretty straightforward, right? So it's going to tell you what you have, kind of what the qualifications are, the preferred skills, right? And what you would do is you apply for it. You can have everything like auto filled out for you. And of course you can attach a resume to it. Don't mind my wonderful mess of stuff. So this is my project management resume right here. And then current company, who do you work for? I don't know if I applied for this one or not. And that's the other thing too, is you gotta really keep track of what you applied for. And you kind of got to go from there, right? So this position is remote. So here is something that will lock you, will lock you out, potentially, right? Now, do you have at least 3+ years of proven experience as a project manager in a game or similar entertainment field? And since I'm retail, probably not, right? But do you have a side project that you work on? Now, proven experience as a project manager, I have that at work, right? Now, do I have that in games? Not necessarily, but I do have a entertainment field. I actually set up a podcast 4 or 5 years ago called Millennial Nerds. That was relatively successful for what I was looking for. I had to set all that up. I'm the one that initiated the project. I'm the one that had to kind of stay within scope of what we do. And you kind of have to, learn the tricks of the trade when it comes to that. So, yes, I believe I do. Now, if you think I'm wrong on that, now I get what they're asking for specifically, right? They're asking for, have you been a project manager in video games? The issue with that, though, we see a lot of times, and there's a lot of jokes being made about it, right? Is how do I get the experience if I can't get the job? And that's kind of where we're at when it comes to that, And honestly, it's one of those things where if you follow the industry well enough, it's not something that's impossible for you to learn, in my personal opinion. This is asking you for, if you have a website portfolio or anything like that. That's usually what I usually attain that to. I usually link that back to my LinkedIn page, or I just put none, or I just put I'll link that back to my LinkedIn page. So to get your LinkedIn information, I'm going to view profile here. That's right here. And then I'll just give them that as like the actual website. If I'm wrong, hey, that's what this is. I'm researching it and seeing how it goes from there. So I never really worked for Sony. I worked for an affiliate of Sony, but never worked for Sony directly. Yes, I'm authorized. And no, I will not. Right? And then, of course, do I know anybody who works for SEI? No, I do not. And then, yes, this is the best of my knowledge. And, of course, this wonderful information right here. And you all can see that what my answers are. If you know who I am, that's not really shocking. right? So I'm not a protected veteran. Now, most recruiters don't even see that information. And then that's how long it takes to apply to that job, right? So, and then we go back, we can go back to, the actual page itself. 87 applicants 57 hours ago. How well are we gonna do? We'll see, right? And here's a few of the ones for gaming and things like that. You need a game developer, senior software engineer, front end, things like that. So, like I said, LinkedIn is really great when it comes down to kind of teaching you. And look, we have a new profile view. I wonder if it was myself. Does it count as myself? I'm not sure. If you unlock the premium, you can actually see that you can see who views your profile. Remember, these are the last 90 days, and obviously we're growing since last week. I've gotten a lot more views. So, and some of these guys are, head of gaming at Legend Communications, like things like that. And we've got, people that, I'm trying to network with, asking for advice. So LinkedIn, like I said, is a great help for you. Now, are there other tools for you to use out there? Absolutely. One of the ones I want to highlight is Hitmarker, right? Hitmarker.net. Okay? Kickstart your career in gaming. Now, this is cool because whether your career in gaming is going to be actual video games or esports itself as a job platform, boom, right? And these guys are great. They offer you career advice. They got great write-ups. How to get into esports in 2022. How to get a job in the video game industry in 2022. Write an awesome esports and gaming cover letter. Write the ultimate esports and gaming resume with examples as well. And a bunch of different, just great articles that they really, do a great job with. I've read a lot of these. And this is just great, insightful information. And what's awesome about these guys is that finding a job is so easy. You sign up for them, you sign up with them, pretty much how you want to do. A lot of the jobs will lead you to outside sources, but as you can see, you can really narrow it down. And of course, we go to the remote anywhere, and boom, what just pops up? Remote jobs anywhere, right? So you can kind of see that, let's just say and you notice that these particular positions did not pop up on LinkedIn. So different recruiters will utilize different sites or different things to promote, right? So if I'm looking for, a recruiter, I might go to LinkedIn. But if I'm looking for an artist or, in this case, a technical writer, Japanese English technical writer, I might go to a different website because that's a different group of people. That's all about, recruiting in general, right? So let's look at, of course, Twitch. So let's look at what you would need for entry level, right? And you can kind of program that too. So if you want to find the job, so let's redo what we're doing here. And I'm looking for entry level, right? And let's say I'm looking for remote, right? So entry level, and sometimes that's a junior level, like this guy right here, and sometimes they even throw intermediate level in there. Just make sure that we still have our entry. Okay, there's our entry level. All right, so we've got an observer, shoutcaster, technical director for space-time strategies. Now, I applied for this observer position. It's $200 a day. It's labeled as an internship, right? To me, that is, obviously you learn more about it if you get an interview for it. But they're looking for 3 observers, 2 League of Legends casters, 2 Team Fight casters, Team Rocket League casters, 2 Fortnite casters. And casters will alternate through casting Smash Ultimate as stated in the schedule below. So you can kind of look at what the skills necessary are for this, minimum qualifications. It's nothing really too crazy. It's more about, do you know how to do TeamSpeak, Discord, G Suite, things like that, which if you're familiar with gaming at all, you probably do. Even if you're a console gamer, basic knowledge of Twitch, YouTube gaming, yada, yada, yada. And then what are their exceptional qualities, right? Experience in film, cinematography, vlogging, or other camera work. Avid spectatorship of major esports like LCS, OWL, and others. Experience with Valorant in-game Spectre. Yeah, Valorant's huge. And then when you want to apply for it, and of course they give you nice little rehearsal dates and things like that. They give you the schedule, and then of course you got the application. That'll lead you off-site, and that'll typically lead you to their actual website where you would just fill out the application. Most of them are very simple. I have yet to fill out a huge amount of questionnaires. Like places don't really do those surveys anymore, at least that I've seen. At least like for these positions, it's mainly based upon how your resume looks. That's the other thing too is, how do you tailor your resume? Well, you can tailor your resume specifically to those jobs based upon the transferable skills that you have, right? Like I said, I'm not going to go into that too much in this particular video, but I do think that's something that is relatively important. Now, let's talk about what you can do to kind of better your resume, though, with more credentials, right? And that's going to lead us to Coursera. I'm not paid by any of these people, by the way. This is all something that I'm doing myself. So Coursera is, online e-learning institute, essentially, where you can get certificates. You can actually get a degree on Coursera. You get these programs that are set up by universities, or you can get these programs that are set up by companies, right? So one of the cool things is you can earn a certificate generally, and that'll help boost up your resume a little bit, right? So, and a lot of these are self-paced. You can go to computer science, information technology. Let's do something that I think is really important when it comes down to data science, right? So let's go to, and sometimes their website is not the easiest thing for me to figure out here, but let's go to earn a certificate, Google Data Analytics here, right? So you can enroll for free in these particular classes. Now, there is a fee to get the certificate, and usually that is a $39 a month fee for this particular class, and look at the enrollment options. So you've got a 7-day free trial. You can cram it all in 7 days. You can do it, and then if you enroll in just a single course, you can do it like that way. And everything is 100% online. That's self-paced, right? And then Coursera charges $39 a month after initial 7-day trial period. That's for this particular class. You can actually do Coursera Plus, which is what I have right now. They offer me a really good deal where I only paid $10 for Coursera Plus for the month of May. But I also just finished up my Google Project Management certification, right? So I'll go under accomplishments, under here, and the classes that I'm taking. And here's my specialization. That's my Google Project Management, right? So this is the actual, I did it. I did their Google Project Management course, made it through all of their other courses, and, ended up with the actual certification through Google. So you can pop that right down in your resume. You can also take it right over to your LinkedIn page. So you go to here, click on your wonderful LinkedIn profile, see your wonderful smiling self. Go down to license and certifications, and boom, look at that. All of a sudden, you've got credentials on here. You've got awesome looking credentials. So far, I've got 10 on here. And look, some in Agile Project Management, Google Project Management certification. And then, of course, if anybody is viewing your profile, they can click on it and go, wow, he has this wonderful looking badge right here, which means he's got Agile Project Management, budget and procurement, effective communication, and things like that. Right? So all it does is help you. It doesn't hurt you to do that. at all. And that's something that you can do in your own time. I found it was pretty simple to go through it. And honestly, a lot of it is stuff that, once again, we're talking about transferable skills. A lot of it's stuff that you already might know. And that, to me, is what's really interesting, is like, how much of that can you actually take over to the world of gaming, or even IT world, right? So let's say that maybe not gaming is where you want to go, but you want to go work for Google, you want to go work for Meta, right? You're taking actual courses designed by Google, designed by Meta, right? So earn a certificate, right? Who else offers certificates? Well, Google does, and so does Meta. I don't know if you've seen it there, right? Meta Marketing Analytics right there. Social media marketing by Meta, right? You're taking actual courses designed by some of the leaders in the industry, and they're going to teach you those things. Salesforce, sales operations. Coursera is a great tool. There's a few other tools as well that we can look into, but we'll save that for another video. Yeah, I'm actually excited about this project, guys. I really am. We'll go more into looking up actual positions on Google as well, and then kind of like what each job. And I kind of want to do a breakdown of like certain jobs and maybe what you might need for those, right? So, but yeah, I'm excited about this project, guys. If you viewed this video, leave a like, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I kind of wanted to do something more than just maybe a reaction video. I kind of wanted to do, this and highlight, what I'm doing. So currently I have applied for, I want to say about 15 different recruiter jobs and maybe about 3 or 4 project management jobs in the gaming industry. I've applied for PlayStation. I got an interview, did not get the job, right? They're not going to stop me, right? I applied for 2K, Take-Two Interactive. I've applied for Crystal Dynamics. I've applied for kind of a few other positions at some of the indie developers. Maybe starting there. I do have an interview tomorrow for a company that's designing the Rec Room game. So Rec Room Games. It's a free-to-play game on software. And yeah, I'm generally excited to kind of share with you my progress. I'm hopeful that I get employed by one of these, because this is what I want to do. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. So thank you for watching this video, listening in. And if you have any questions, go ahead and you can find me on LinkedIn, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on Twitch, and a bunch of other instances. So once again, guys, thank you so very much, and have a good day.